channel. So today we're going to do my Pan Those Eyeshadows update. I have to make some changes to this one because I just for like a few months now, I've just not been feeling it. I do have a pan to share with you, so that is very exciting. We're also going to do quite a big switch up today because there are some shades that were rolled into this project that I simply do not want to go into. And quite frankly, I don't want them to sit around for another few months and then I eventually roll them out. I'm going to do it today. I want to keep this project fun for myself, and it's not fun right now. So we're going to make some changes. I do like a switch up. I don't like giving up, but this is like, I think this is necessary. All right, I'm going to go into the ones straight away that I'm actually going to be rolling out because I did not go into them at all this month. And I really didn't want to go into them last month either. So we have one shade from the ColourPop Hocus Pocus 2. I do like this palette, but the shade that was rolled in is a dark purple matte. And I know I will never hit pan in this. I don't need to go into it 20 times to realize that. And you know what? I just don't want to be using dark purple matte. So this is the palette and this is the shade, and I haven't gone into it all this month. So yeah, this one is going to be rolling out. Had it been any other of these shades, I think I would have gone into it, but I don't want to force myself to wear makeup that I don't want to wear, especially because I do like to change my makeup depending on the season, and I'm very much loving spring at the moment. The first few signs of spring, we have some blossoms on the tree, and it is absolutely beautiful outside right now, and I just don't want to be wearing a dark purple matte for the most part. So that one is going to be rolling out. Another one that I'm rolling out is actually a single of mine. I made this a single a long time ago. Quite honestly, I don't think I need to keep it as a single. It is from my Niezle Beauty palette that I depotted a long time ago. Like I said, the brand doesn't even exist anymore. And this is the shade. It's called Adilla. I didn't go into it all this month. I went to it 2 times last month because I kind of forced myself. This month I didn't want to force myself. I didn't have any need. There was a time when I could have gone into it and I chose something else. I just did not want to go into this green. You know what it is? It's just not very pretty. For a shimmer, I have beautiful green shimmers in my collection now, and this one is just not worth keeping. So I might actually end up reviewing a lot of my depotted singles and maybe minimize them a little bit because they're not all worth keeping, I've realized. All right, we've got those 2 out the way. I will be rolling in 2 new shades later on in the video, but we have 3 other shades that I'm working on that are staying in. So we can talk about them. Actually, one of them is rolling out because I've hit pan in it, but let's talk about the other 2 first. So the first one is from my Beauty Bay palette, the Earthy, and RIP Beauty Bay, who knows what's going on with that. But the shade that I'm working on is this one called Lime right here. You can see that there is a really nice dip, and I think 1 or 2 more uses and I will hit pan. So this one is staying in. I've only used it 1 time since last update, but I am actually quite convinced that I will hit pan this next month. I used it the other day. It was super, super pretty. And I think what it is I'm just sick of having shades in this project that I don't care about. So I've been ignoring all of my Pan Those eyeshadow palettes for the most part because I have considered this project done, you know, and I don't want to finish. I don't want this project to end this way, you know, if I'm going to stop doing it or not. I want it to end on a bang. So I want to like enjoy it again if I do decide to end this. So Lime is staying in. I only used it once this last month, but I do think I can hit pan in it, so it is staying. What it looks like, this is it. It's actually really pretty. And I put it here, like just in my waterline and underneath, and it was so gorgeous. And I think that's how I need to do it. If I don't want to wear green on the lid, it does actually add a really beautiful pop of color in my lower lash line, and I just feel like I need to start doing that. And then also I used a thinner brush, like a more like precise brush, and I think that's how I'm going to hit pan in that shade too. So I have my thoughts. Going. Only use it the once, but I do have plans for that. Anyway, moving on. We actually have the pan that I've hit this month. It is from my Dancing in the Sky from Gloss Gods. I knew that I was going to hit pan in this as soon as this palette was rolled in last month. And I picked this shade because I knew it would be a very easy shade for me to hit pan on. This is the shade right here, and I have used it 2 times this month. So I've only had it in for a month, and I used it twice, and now we have quite a big pan, actually, to be fair. Gloss Gods, for the most part, these types of shades are super, super easy for me to hit pan, so I was not surprised in the slightest. It's such a gorgeous shade too. And let me just put this right here. It's got that beautiful purpley blue, and then it has kind of like a brown peachy base, but really easy for me to wear or layer on top of other shades. So not a surprise at all. And I'm getting so much use out of this palette that I have always loved but never used too much. So yeah, this one is rolling out after just 1 month and 2 uses on it. And then the last shade that I have to talk about is actually from my ABH Nuvo palette. I have gone into this 5 times this month. I'm really trying to work on it. I am convinced that I can hit pan, so I'm really putting the effort. And it is this one right here called Liberty. And hopefully you can see that nice big dip that I have formed. And maybe this next month I can hit pan. I don't know, we'll have to see. But yeah, I've been enjoying this one. It's been somewhat versatile, so I've been able to use it when I don't do green looks, which I have enjoyed. And I think maybe this next month I can hit pan and finally roll this out. That would be nice, right? To be able to just really consistently work on the shade to my fullest and roll it out and be a harder shade, because I feel like the Gloss Gods one, quite honestly, was like a gimme. It was a gimme pan for sure, because I knew I was going to hit pan in that super fast. But this one I put the effort in and the time. So this one I feel like will feel a little bit better once I hit the pan. So anyway, I'm determined to hit pan in that. Used it 5 times this month. And so it is staying in. This is it right here. So you can see it's kind of a murky green, almost can lean more brown if you use the right shades next to it. So we only have 2 shades that are staying in. I do like to have 5 shades in this project, so we're going to be rolling in 3 shades today. And I am really hoping that they're not going to be like grungy greens. I just want something a little different. It would be nice to get maybe some yellows. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling yellow. I'm loving this mustard. I don't know. I want something that's kind of going to be spring-like. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly pull 3 different eyeshadow palettes, and then we'll just go from there. So here we go. We've got my trusty little wheel. And we're going to pick the first palette, and then I will select the shade that I work on. So we've got the Cosmic Beauty Muse palette, which I think is a really good one to have. So this one is right here, and this is what the color story looks like. So I already have 2 pans in this palette. I can either go quite simple and go with like an iridescent, or I think I might pick a matte, maybe one of these pinks or purples. I don't want to pick a green. I could very well go with like a mustard shade too. I did just say I wanted something mustardy yellow, so I could definitely go into that. I think let's see what the other 2 options are before I decide. Second palette is going to be Cosmic Beauty Serenity. All right, so this is the Serenity palette. And then this is what the palette looks like. Now, I did try to hit pan in this, in my Pan Those eyeshadows, I think sometime last year, and I never got round to doing it. So I could just roll this shade in. There is quite a nice little dip, and it is very pretty. And I could be really cheeky and just do that. Or I could roll in one of these lovely pops of color for spring, which I'm kind of leaning more towards doing, quite honestly. That would be really fun to do. Ooh, there's some gorgeous shades in this palette. So I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I think let's just see what the third option is going to be before I make my decision. But yeah, I'm excited. I think this is the best thing I could have done. Roll shades that I don't want to use, and then roll some palettes in that so far I love. Okay, next up is Sig Beauty Galactic Visitor. All right, I think I've been very, very lucky with the palettes that have been chosen. They're not palettes that are chosen all the time. This is Sig Beauty Galactic Visitor. This is the first palette that they released. And this is what it looks like. So yeah, there's some really lovely, light, peachy, spring-like tones in here. So what am I gonna pick? Okay, so I think in the Galactic Visitor, I am going to roll in Beam. I think this is such a pretty shade. This is also quite a soft shade too, so I'm being a little bit strategic, but it is so pretty. It's like a turquoisey, bluey green, delicious sea color. So I'm going to roll that one in. What was that one called? Beam. And then from the Serenity palette, I think what I want to roll in is the shade Oasis over here. So obviously you have all these gorgeous colors, but I want to go with this one. So this is obviously a peachy orange. And I just think, oops, I just think for the purpose of this project, I want to keep things quite different from each other. I don't actually want a cohesive color story because I don't always use my pan those eyeshadows together. I could do a look with all of these so far. So that is the color story. And then with the Muse, what I'm thinking is these are all a little bit more muted, a little bit darker. I'm thinking we go with Sweet Pea, which is this beautiful lilac shade. So I think that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, I think we go with this one because this is also really spring-like, and I'm actually really excited. I'm rolling in 2 mattes and just 1 shimmer. Who am I? But yeah, comparing that to like the last few color stories that I've had, and also this one is going to be rolled out pretty much, I would say, next month. If we can, you know, if I can manage it, I think this will definitely roll out next month. So I'm really excited about that. There's a huge hornet outside. I'm watching it. I have my window open. He better not come through. Anyway, I tried to film him, but then he disappeared. So, okay. All right. So anyway, I'm super excited about this color story. Maybe I'll regret it, but like I said, this one will be rolling out. Maybe this green one. So I'll have these 3 left over, and then I'll have some new ones to roll into. But I'm kind of liking it. I definitely want to do a look with all of these as well. Maybe I'll try to do a short. I'll get back into shorts. I'm feeling motivated and confident today, but hopefully it lasts. But anyway, let me know what you think about my new color story, and if you would have rolled out those shades. I just feel so much better with this one, and I have a little bit more control now. I just feel like I was trying to work on shades that I just did not want to use, and I don't want to feel that in a project at all. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!